Okay, this calculus lesson is more on absolute extrema with trig functions. So we'll do one example here. So it's pretty easy, you guys. So find the absolute mins or maxes on the function f of x equals 2 sine x plus cosine 2x on the interval 0 to 2 pi. All right, so you can go ahead and take the derivative right off the bat if you want, or you can use one of your double angle identities. It's either in the front of your book or the back of your book. Remember, cosine of 2x equals 2 sine squared of x minus 1, or I'm sorry, 2 cosine squared of x minus 1, or 1 minus 2 sine squared of x. What's the other one? Cosine squared minus sine squared. You can use one of those. I think it's just easier just to go ahead and take the derivative, and that's what I did here, you guys. So, but sooner or later, you're going to want them all in terms of sine or cosine right here. All right, so since I had cosine of 2x, I did a u substitution over here. So the derivative of this cosine of 2x is over here. All right, so this negative and this negative are going to change to a positive right here, this negative and this negative right there. So there's the derivative right there. Then I'm going to set that equal to 0 to find the extremas. All right, and then so I divided both sides by 2 to get this. I'd rather have those without the 2's in there. And then I'm going to use my double angle identity for the sine of 2x. Remember the double angle identity is 2 sine x minus cosine x. All right, so there's that right there. Okay, so here it is right there. Okay, and that's either in the front of your book or the back of your book. Remember that from pre-calculus. This one was, for me, the easiest one to remember. All right, now I can go ahead and factor out a cosine of x out of both those guys. When I pull out a cosine of x, I get that. So then I can set the cosine of x equal to 0. And that happens at pi over 2 and 3 pi over 2. Or I set this factor 1 plus 2 sine x equal to 0, or sine x equals negative a half, because I subtract 1 on both sides and divide by 2. And sine x equals negative a half at 7 pi over 6 and 11 pi over 6. Okay, so I'm going to set up a chart right here with these critical values. These are my critical values, and don't forget your endpoints. You got to go with those ones right there. So here's the chart right here, and then I'm just going to crank it out. So I'm going to plug in 0. So the sine of 0 is 0. The cosine of 0 is 1. So here I get 0 minus 1 gets me the y value negative 1. I'm going to plug in pi over 2. The sine of pi over 2 is 1, 2 times 1. And the cosine, this is 2 times pi over 2, which is 2 times, which ends up being pi. The cosine of pi is negative 1. All right, so I get 3 on that one because it's 2 minus a minus 1. Plug in 7 pi over 6. Okay, right here, when I plug in 7 pi over 6 right there, 2 times 7 pi over 6 gets me 7 pi over 3. And 7 pi over 3 is 6 pi over 3 plus pi over 3. And 6 pi over 3 is 2 pi. So this is the same as just plain old pi over 3. So the cosine of pi over 3 is a half. Okay, so that's how I got that. So I get negative 1 minus a half is negative 1 and a half, or negative 3 halves. All right, and I keep doing that and keep doing that, and I'm just saving time in this video, and I get those right there. Okay, this is the biggest number right here, so this is my absolute max. These two guys have the same smallest number, so these are my absolute mins. And so write them as ordered pairs, you guys. Absolute mins or absolute maxes, and you do that with all the trigs ones right there. So the absolute max is at this order pair, pi over 2 comma 3. Absolute mins are at these two places, 7 pi over 6 and negative 3 halves, and 11 pi over 6 and negative 3 halves. All right, so now obviously you guys can use your calculators on this, and I would rather you guys not use your calculator, but you guys, it just depends on your teacher, you guys. So, but you can use your calculators, but if you do use your calculators, make sure you're in radians, you guys, not in degrees. Okay, and then if you're sitting in my calculus class, I would assign that as your homework. I told you this was an easy lesson. It's just reviewing your trig values.